Hello, I'm Victor Cushing. I'm the chairman, founder, and chief master of the International Modern Hapkido Federation. We're here today to sort of give you an introduction to modern Hapkido, what the system is based on, a collection of concepts that we'll explain to you, and a sampler of the techniques that are involved in modern Hapkido. This is not a ranked curriculum tape. We're not trying to present everything from white belt to fifth dan. We're simply showing you what the system is built on and how it works. What exactly is modern Hapkido? Modern Hapkido is a self-defense oriented martial art based on traditional Hapkido with some puts and takes. The puts and takes are not having an infinite variety of one type of technique, limiting the selection of techniques in order to add other things. Other things such as trapping, pressure point strikes, stick fighting, knife fighting, and ground fighting. In those other areas, we're not going to make you an expert. We're simply going to introduce you to the basics of things that you may need to survive in a violent confrontation. Modern Hapkido is not a sport-oriented competitive art, although clearly the techniques, the movements, the basics, the biomechanics of any good athletic endeavor, whether it be put to the purpose of sport or put to the purpose of defending yourself, can be applied in different ways. There's plenty of room for those things in Hapkido. There's plenty of room for the application of them in lots of areas. The core of our system, however, is going to be self-defense oriented. In a self-defense orientation, one of the critical factors, which we insist on, is that the response must equal the threat. You have to have a range of techniques and a range of attitudes to deal with different threats that may occur. We classify those for just the purposes of exposition into three piles. Pile one, a violent, serious confrontation where the other person or people involved in it are trying to do you serious bodily harm. They want to maim you, cripple you, sexually assault you, kill you. This is a very serious threat. Pile one. Pile two is for those people who have a professional duty to restrain and control people. This would apply to people like law enforcement officers, corrections officers, people working security in a facility for the mentally disturbed, where you need to control the patient, control the subject, control the arrestee, corrections officers dealing with prisoners. You have a professional duty to restrain and control people, and of course to protect yourself. This is not a civilian issue. This is a professional issue. That's pile two, restraint and control. Pile three is sort of misdemeanor assaults, annoying behavior, people clutching at your clothing, somebody putting their hand on your leg when it doesn't belong there. So many of these can be dealt with by simply saying, stop doing that, get your hands off of me. If they can't, there are some physical techniques you can use to control people. You have to ask yourself, if you're grabbed by a total stranger, is your response going to be different than the response if you're grabbed by a drunken or disturbed relative? Clearly the answer is different. Unless your relative is brandishing a knife, screaming that they're going to murder you, which is very unlikely, your response is going to be different. Response must equal threat. It has to be equal to and match up with the situation you find yourself in. Using a technique to deal with a deadly situation for someone who's just annoying you is a complete misapplication of force. It's going to get you in all kinds of trouble, criminal problems, civil problems. On the other hand, using a technique designed to get someone to leave you alone who's just being mildly annoying when you're dealing with someone who's engaging you in a violent attack is completely inappropriate, and now you're going to get hurt badly, maybe killed. Response must equal threat.